What's going on, people? My name is Brandon. In today's video I'm going to give you guys a tutorial on Cubase Element 10. I'll be teaching you guys the basics of this program, and I will be making a series. So at the end of this series you should be making a track that sounds a little bit like this. So if you guys are interested in making a beat like that, or any beat in particular, it can be it's endless. It's down to your imagination with this. But as soon as you get the basics, then your creativity can go absolutely wild. It's amazing. So if you haven't got Cubase and you're interested, it is £86 for Element 10, but for Cubase AI it's like, I think it's like 300 and something. But if you're interested in buying this piece of software, then look in the description, and there'll be a link there leading you to the website to buy Cubase. So anyway, the first thing you want to do when you load up Cubase, this is probably not what you're going to see. You're probably going to see this, and I just like to have my loadout like this when it comes to checking out the song, because you can really, organize things more without anything being in your way. It's a really good way to do it. But before you do anything, you might notice that you might not be able to hear any sound or anything like that. So basically what this means is you're gonna have to go to the studio bar at the top and click Studio Setup, and once you're here you're gonna go to genetic low latency, well, whatever your drivers are that you've selected here, but it would be shown in here anyway. And you want to go to Control Panel, and you will see a list of things to click on, and you got to find the speakers or headphones that you're going to be wearing, and then just select it. And then down here on the outputs will be your microphone selections. So mine would be line 4, but mine's just not selected because I've selected it on my OBS. So you would select that, and then you would have a microphone, and then what you want to do is you need to go to Studio again and to Audio Connections, or F4 takes you to the same place. And all you need to do is go to Outputs. Outputs is your sound, and you click it, and then you select the right speaker. So the 2 always goes to the bottom, the 1 always goes to the top, and the input is your microphone. So you just basically select this, but I haven't got anything connected to it, so mine won't actually come up. As you see, no connection right there. So now you've done that, you might notice that you're hearing some sound. If you haven't, then just let me know in the comments, and then I'll sure to reply to you. But first thing we need to do is make a nice melody. I always stick with a nice melody at the beginning of my beats, because it kind of drags in the audience, the listeners. So what you want to do is, obviously yours will look like this. If you want to have different views and everything, go up to the top here where you see these 3 boxes, and the one with the black line going down at the back is the inspector, which will go, and then the one on the right will go, and then the one at the bottom will go, and then you'll be left with this. But for now, for this purpose, we'll keep it like this. You're going to want to go to VST Instruments and click and drop and drag the piano looking one, the Halion Sonic SE, and just drag that onto your input and output channels. Now when this happens, you will get this keyboard that pops up. It's on my other screen. Just grab this for you. That looks like this, and this is your best friend. Let me just say this now. Everything that I'm going to use in this series to make this beat will be everything that's built in to Cubase. So no extra plugins or VST plugins. I won't be using any of them because I'm just using the default program for this purpose. So this is where your variety of sounds come from. For example, you get your nice basses, and you get millions of things to choose from. One of my favorite is the organs, and a nice one that I like using is the piano. Which is a really nice sounding piano, where you also get different sound effects. For example, that's hard, so that means that the notes are being played at a high velocity. So what you want to do is we're going to choose a sound that we're going to go with, and I'm just going to go with a simple piano. And there's some nice strings that you can use. And what if you've noticed is there's four different categories here. There's the category where you find your specific instrument that you want to use, the variety of instruments, and then the subcategory is everything that's in. For example, the strings, everything in the strings is here, and then you see numbers at the side. This represents how many there is to select on that certain category. So for example, this is 15. It says number 15, so there is 15 categories here for you to choose from, which is very nice for Cubase to offer. Very, very neat and organized, which is a good thing. So I'm going to click this piano, and I heard the piano that I wanted. I think it was the bright one, yeah. Okay, so what you want to do is, this is where MIDI keyboards come into hand. But if you don't, and you like me, you don't have a MIDI keyboard, then you can use your keyboard and mouse, or the keyboard that comes with your keyboard and mouse, obviously, as a MIDI input, as a note-on-note MIDI input. And the way this is done is, when you've selected it, you can press all your notes, and you can press all your keys, like your Q, W, B and everything, and nothing will happen. But you can click these and they will play, but that's no good for you. So what you want to do is you want to click F2, so it brings your bar at the bottom to the top right here. Oh, my bad, as shown here. And then what you want to do is you're going to want to click Alt and K. I don't know what it is on Mac. And basically what this does is it brings up an on-screen keyboard. And what this allows you to do is play these sounds on your keyboard. For example, if I click Q, it will play the note. And then if you click this, you see the bars at the bottom. If you click higher on the bar, then the notes are played higher. So once you've picked the sound that you want to go ahead, and I want to get rid of this bar, and you want to select your BPM. See, my BPM is that your BPM will be at the bottom as well, and it's shown here. And if you want to hear the BPM, then you just click this activation, the activate metronome, and you click that, or click C. But if this on-screen board is on, then you won't be able to click any notes, any letters that are outside of this barrier here. Click that, or click C if you're not on the on-screen board, and click play, or the button down here, enter, and you can hear your metronome. So we want to go with a more faster pace, so we're going to go with a 140 BPM. So as you can see, that is a good speed. And then you just want to go ahead and play a tune off the top of your head and see if you like it, for example. Quick thing, guys, if you're not happy with your sound that you've got, Oh, I've just quickly changed mine, but if you're not happy with it, then you just click this here, the edit instrument, and it should bring up the keyboard again. And if you want to get the same effect, and if you want to follow along the instruments that I use, then go ahead, but I'm going to use the same instruments as I used on the track that I showed you at the beginning of the video. You want to click piano and go to E piano here, E grand, sorry, and click house piano chords. And then if you click Q, for example, I kind of like that sound effect. I don't know about you guys. And right now, this is a good example to show you if you record and hit a wrong note, you can edit your notes by MIDI and change them at the editor option, which we will show you now. I'm going to play my tune and I'm going to hit a wrong note, and I'll show you how to fix that. So as you can see, the top note I played here was incorrect, and if, for example, your note that you want to play isn't on this variety of keys, then you can change this through MIDI. So what you want to do is you want to double click on the MIDI track that you created, and it should bring you to the editing page. Now this is literally my best friend. You can get, if your timing's off of the beat or the metronome, then you can fix this. And you can fix this by, as you can see, the 3. I started playing my beat on beat 3, but it's not exactly on beat 3, so I can zoom right into this by holding Control and using the scroll button and literally dragging it so it's on the bar. So now I know it is on now I know that it's at the right, that it's in sync with the beat. Also, what you could do is you could click Control and A and then click Q to quantize these notes. Do these in 32 bits, and as you can see, they're slightly moving. But I prefer, me personally, to do this by myself, because then I know I've got everything perfect. Now for the note that was wrong, you see this was my note that I played wrong. And I wanted to play this a bit lower, so all I do is you highlight it, and the way you know it's highlighted is because it will be darker than the rest, and just click down on the arrow keys until you are at the right place. And now it is in tune. So this is what we've got. So I don't know if you can hear that, but I can tell that some notes are not played at the right time. That's because I'm tuned to hear that sort of stuff. I've trained myself to hear that. So as you can see, I could tell it was off at the beginning because it's not on the 3, so it's not actually on time. Listen to it to make sure you guys can hear it. If you can't, it doesn't matter. So I can hear that that's not played at the right time. So literally all you do is you drag across till you're on the right line, and then you won't get that problem. And then you just fix these errors and you're ready to move on. So once you have synced everything up correctly from the way you want it, you basically, it's a ball ache to do all this all the time. So what I like doing is literally duplicating this, and the way you do this is you get the end of the track and you line it up perfectly with the end of the note, and the same at the beginning. And once you have done that, you go to the track here and click this little box, and then you can just repeat it, which is very useful. And one thing I like doing is harmonizing this track. And the way you do this is you duplicate to the track, and the way you do that is click in here and right click in and just click duplicate track, and this will duplicate it, and then double click on the track, and basically you'll be took to the MIDI track, well, you know, to the editing side of the MIDI track. And you control and alt this all and hold shift and up, and it instantly takes it to that nice key. Highlight it, shift and up, and then when this is played at the same time, sounds really nice. Let me mute this. And then I just like changing the color of the track, making that bit red, making this bit also red, make it look nice and pretty. Make this bit blue, and we want to make a nice red, unhighlight it, make this bit blue again, because it keeps changing to red, make this bit blue, and then unhighlight this, and then there we go, got nice little colours. That's going to do it for this video, guys. Hopefully you did enjoy. If you've got any questions, leave them in the comments, and I will be sure to reply to you guys. But until next time, part 2 will be making the drum beat. So hopefully you guys enjoy it, and I'll see you guys in part 2.